I'm not really a drinker. I don't drink alcohol that much, although I did just drink a twisted tea before I recorded this episode. And twisted tea, it can't get you drunk like that bad. It's not really like like vodka or tequila. But if I wanted to record a Stranger Things season 5 episode, I would need to have some kind of alcohol in my system. Not alcoholic, but still, this finale and this final season was definitely a doozy. And before we get into all of that, my name's Logan. Welcome back to the Court of Cinema podcast. And here, we'll talk about everything film and TV. And today's episode, we're talking about Stranger Things Season 5, the final series finale season in the Stranger Things TV show. And every single episode of this season has been released. It is finally confirmed. Every single episode is done. It's complete. The final episode, it came out in theaters, and we are officially done with this show. And you might be asking, Logan, why do you have to give such a explicit and clear and defining "this show is over" announcement before you start the episode? Well, if you happen to live under a rock or you have a life, that's also true. If you have a life unlike me, then you'll probably not know about the conformity gate theory, which I can talk about that for hours on end. But basically, TLDR, that is a theory that the Stranger Things finale was filled with so many plot holes. It was so disappointing. It was so underwhelming that the finale that we got wasn't the real finale, but it was merely just a setup for the real finale that we would be getting. It would have been coming out today or next week, but that theory is wrong. It is not true. The finale was the finale. The show is done. There is no secret episode, which once again, you can explore that on your own time, but basically there's so many different plot holes and theories and things that were tied up very poorly that left the fans thinking that can't be the end. The real ending is coming a week after the real ending, which isn't true. That's not true at all. That's not the case in any way, shape, or form. But it was a fun little theory. I mean, really, the theory of conformity gate, it's so dumb. It's so chaotic. It's stupid. It makes no sense at all. It's such cope, but it's so much fun. It is so cool. I mean, seeing what fans can do when they really come together and not put that kind of energy towards like a job. That's the real concern. You could have put this time towards like a job or a job application, but you put it towards a Stranger Things secret finale theory. That's super cool. You know, I'm a nerd. I have no life as well, but that is cool. The conformity gate theory was very cool, but it's not true. At least from what I can tell, it's not true. All the episodes are now out, and the show is finally over. Once again, Conformity Gate is so deep that if I wanted to talk about it, it would be like a hour and a half episode. But still, it's not true. But I do just want to talk about, the show's over now. And before I rip this show to shreds and absolutely disrespect the Duffer Brothers, I will do that in a minute here because I have a lot to say on this show. I do want to say I love this show. I love Stranger Things. This show has been a part of my life for about a decade. It's been 9 years, almost 10 at this point. And this show means a lot to me. It really does. I started this show when I was in middle school, and now I'm a 21-year-old who has no life. Once again, I know. But still, this show means a lot to me. I have a lot of love for this show. And when I threw it on, when I first started watching it in 2016, I didn't throw it on thinking that any of this would happen. I didn't throw it on thinking and saying to myself that this show was going to be one of the best pieces of writing ever in TV history. But I threw it on knowing it was going to be super cool, knowing that this show was just a mixture of so many super cool and fun 80s TV shows and movies and pop culture references in the 80s. And now it's over. Now it's finished. And I do just want to say thank you to the Duffer Brothers. Thank you guys. You guys really made a fantastic show. And once again, I'm going to be roasting them and giving them a lot of heat here in a second, but I do just want to make it aware that I don't only complain. I do have a love for this show. I have an affinity for this show. This show is over. The ending that we got, I'm going to talk about it, but still, the ending is the ending. And, that epilogue, I feel like the epilogue was definitely a highlight for the show in terms of where a lot of these characters should have ended up at and the storybook closing for the show. The show, the ending, the finale, the epilogue was serviceable. That's the best way to describe it. It was very serviceable. It did its job. It did its job pretty okay. It did it good enough. It was serviceable. It's serviceable ending. where the characters ended up at was really, really good. I'm not sure if there's a way I could really write it any better in terms of, and spoilers if you couldn't already tell, Joyce and Hopper, they're engaged. In terms of Mike is going to be writing stories, and Max and Lucas, they're going to be going on dates to the movie that they promised each other. In terms of Will came out as gay, and now he's going to be going off to college and living his true self. And also with Dustin going to a highly acclaimed college. And also Steve is now a coach on a Little League baseball team. I wouldn't have written it any better way. And everyone else in this entire slew of great characters are living the ending that I pictured for them. And it was very beautiful to see that. Everyone got their happy ending, and we'll talk about that in a second with the endings. But still, this show means a lot to me. What this show has done for me in my life and countless others, it's very beautiful. And I thank the Duffer Brothers for this show. Now that I've said thank you to the Duffer Brothers, I'm going to start going into the cons for this show. And I want to start off with the Duffer Brothers. I just said thank you. So remind that I just said thank you and I love you guys for the show. And now I can go to the cons. The Duffer Brothers are idiots. You guys are dumb. You guys are stupid. You guys have no idea how to run this show. And I hate what you do with this show. I really do. And once again, I just say I love you guys. But, you know, we're family. We're a part of the familia. But Duffer Brothers, you guys are stupid. You guys have no idea how to run the show. You guys really should have been stripped from the keys to this show years ago. You guys have no idea how to run Stranger Things. You guys had no idea what to do with the characters. You guys are both idiots. I mean, really, two of the biggest nimrods and idiots inside of TV history. You guys are seriously dumb. It's kind of impressive how stupid both of you are. In terms of creating a show, writing a show for 10 years, and then when you guys are interviewed about a show, you guys are like, oh, I don't know, who knows, maybe, I don't know, I have no idea. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You created and wrote the show and directed the show, yet you have no idea about anything with the entire show. It's kind of impressive how stupid both of you are. And once again, I hate to sound like I'm a guy on Reddit who's ranting, but I'm not going to rant too much. I'll keep it kind of structured, but I did just want to say and point out in the beginning that you guys both are idiots and have no idea how to run this show, that it's kind of impressive to be asked in interviews with Hollywood Reporter, Variety, hey, this thing happened in the show. What does this mean? How does this make any sense? And you guys respond with, I don't know, you tell me. Maybe, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Sorry, I'm ranting, but going into the cons for the show and things that may have been the biggest standouts in terms of the negatives. Number one, it's the elephant in the room. The elephant is standing in my face saying to address him, so I will address you, Mr. Elephant. Number one is Will coming out as gay. That's the biggest con that everyone's going to be talking about. It's the biggest thing out of the entire show about sci-fi. Someone coming out as gay is apparently big and crazy. I feel like this moment was a clear example of overhating in a show, and some may be a little bit deserved. But I feel like when Will came out as gay, it was just the cherry on top for Volume 2 with this show. It was really just the cherry on top in terms of bad, boring. I'm so bored with this show. It's so underwhelming. And now at the very end, Will comes out as gay. It was the cherry on top in terms of the worst thing to do at that time. That was really it. You know, that was the one thing that would tip everyone off. And already, if this season, the final season, was like 10 out of 10, Will coming out as gay already would have gotten a ton of hate, because we all know that in any kind of pride or gay show or movie, there's always going to be Republicans coming out and saying it's dumb, it's stupid, it is too woke, and it's really bad for society. We know that. That's no surprise. But I feel like when the season was already this bad already, then to have that happen on top of that, there was really just no help in terms of that moment being good in any kind of way. It's, yeah, for a lot of people, it's like, it's not bad, but I feel like it was the wrong time to do it. Once again, I mean, the show was really at a bad point already. Now, adding on top of it, not the best time to do it. But yeah, you can say it's the wrong time in terms of Will coming out as gay when the world's ending to a room full of like 40 people, to some he may not even know or may not really accept him. it was definitely, it felt like kind of awkward and weird and misplaced, but it happened, and it's just, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. I think that me personally, I wasn't too mad about it. Once again, I was watching it knowing in my head, oh, the internet is going to love this and they're going to rip it apart. I knew it when I watched it on Christmas. That's just exactly what's going to happen. But I feel like in terms of the show, for narratively, it kind of made sense to me. Like, Vecna showed Will his friends and family not being able to trust him and his biggest nightmare. And hey, if the world's ending and if he felt like this moment of coming out as gay would have helped them and benefited them for the sake of his team, then I don't really see a problem with it. I really don't. It makes sense logically why he did that. But once again, the show was already at a bad point. Adding that in, just adding that extra layer in on top of there, it definitely was the wrong time and place to do that. But it makes sense. I'm not mad at it at all, but it's a big con. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't address it. Now, for the second con that I personally have with the show, is 11 and other characters being handled very poorly in this final season. I feel like a lot of, once again, like I said, the Duffer Brothers had no idea how to run this show. This show was not supposed to be this big at all. And clearly, it shows that they did not know what to do with a lot of these characters. Like 11, I feel like is a character that really took a back seat, that didn't have anything to do in this final season. It was very disappointing for me. I mean, I feel like 11 should have had more to do and could have been a lot more interesting, yet they have no idea what to do with 11 in this final season, or really the entire show besides season 1. It feels like 11's plot has been the same thing over and over again, and really they have no idea what to do with the character. And in terms of, you might be asking Logan, well, what should they have done with 11? I mean, I don't know. I'm just a guy in the audience. I mean, I'm just a guy with a podcast mic in front of him, and I'm not a writer by any means, but I feel like 11 could have had so much more to do with this final season. And with, these past 2 seasons, it feels like 11 hasn't been doing much, and it was really upsetting. But, I mean, where they end the character, and I'll mention that, I guess, here now, where they end the character of killing 11 off, yet keeping that open theory that maybe she's alive. It's cool to see that, and I understand also that's kind of the best place to end the character in terms of 11 has always been the crux, the catalyst of this entire show. The show, I feel like, wouldn't end without 11, specifically her journey in this show ending. That was really the thing that needed to happen, and I'm really kind of all here for it. I'm not really mad at that at all, but feel like still 11's character, 11's story, 11's arc in this show has been handled so poorly and so clearly. Like, they have no idea what to do with that kind of character, and it definitely shows. That switch from 11 being the main focus to now Will's the main focus felt very abrupt, and they didn't really give her anything in this final season to do except to sit in the bathtub and mog, and we're going to pay you $80 million to do it. That just didn't feel good to me. I felt like that character should have had more, but she didn't. And more characters I feel like just definitely it points out. Number 1 is Mike. I feel like Mike, not as much, but definitely Mike, they have no idea what to do with Mike in this show. And Lucas and Dustin, it's okay. I feel like they had a little bit more to do, but Mike is one character that I'm like, okay, until the epilogue, they had no idea to do with that character at all. Like, really, Mike, they had zero clue to do with him. It's really upsetting. And the case goes for a lot of, I feel like the entire cast, all the characters, I feel like had no idea what should be done with them. But mainly, I feel like another few are Hopper and Joyce. Felt like the exact same characters from season 1. I feel like they both, it's like the same lines of dialogue, the same scenes, the same things over and over again, to the point where Joyce and Hopper, I feel like, had nothing this entire season, except for their proposal, which is cute, but it still shows that they have no idea how to finish off these characters and add a meaningful layer with these characters. And a bigger thing for me, that's a prime example, the fact that Joyce and Hopper went to high school with our main big bad Thanos villain, Vecna, and yet they didn't mention it once? Like, really? I mean, I understand there's probably a good 10 million people from my high school that I have no idea who they are. I'm not going to lie. But still, I feel like when you went to high school with this one kind of weird, quiet kid, Henry, who's now the big bad Thanos villain of this entire world, you think that maybe they would have investigated or try to look into their past of yearbooks or something, anything at all, to try and correlate or connect that at all. I mean, really? I mean, I feel like they could have had at least one little mention of the fact that, hey, our big bad villain is Henry Creel, who is Vecna, and we happen to go to the exact same high school as him, yet somehow that wasn't mentioned at all. Like, at all. Zero. Zilch. Except for a stage play for Broadway. That's it. That's kind of, it's like things like that show that they could have done so much more. They could have gone so much bigger and deeper, but this entire season was just very disappointing. Another big disappointment is Dr. K. You have Linda Hamilton on your show, on payroll, yet you don't do anything with Linda Hamilton in your show as Dr. K. I mean, that's insanely underwhelming, disappointing. And another character, no idea what to do with him. Vecna, Henry Creel. I mean, I know he had his own Broadway play, which is cool, but I didn't go see that. You probably didn't go see that. I shouldn't have to go to a New Rockstar's 40-minute breakdown to understand more about my big bad villain. I mean, really do something with him. And once again, goes to show, this show clearly was not supposed to have Vecna in it from the very jump start. And it's okay, that's the case, but still, they didn't really do anything with that character meaningful. And once again, maybe it'll be in a spinoff or a prequel series, but still, I don't like that at all. The fact that that's how we do things with this show and that's how we structure it, I would have liked more from the character of him, of Vecna, that really it's missing out here with this show and with this final season. The next complaint I have that's kind of quick, but still it's really big, is the season 5 structure has been boring, underwhelming. It's just so slow. This season, really, I haven't rewatched it, and I haven't rewatched any of the Stranger Things seasons, but this season, season 5 of Stranger Things, has been so dull, so bland, so boring. It's been the exact same scenes played over again and again and again. All the dialogue has been the same thing over and over and over. It's been a season with 95% just exposition. That's what this entire season has been, is them just planning, plotting, exposition. Now we're going to cut away to this scene. Now exposition again and again and again. And I grew so tired of it. Once we got to volume 2, I was just so like over it. Like, oh my gosh, this entire season has been set up and exposition for the finale. That's it. That's what I feel like this entire season has been: exposition, setup, planning, plotting, scheming for the final episode. That's what's been in the entire season, and I was over it. Like, once we got to the finale, I was really over it. That's when I talked about it when I said that this season is going to be one of the biggest letdowns and fumbles. The big reason is because of that. You know, this entire season, I felt like it went nowhere. It had no bit of fun or exploration or adventure to it. It was just the same scenes, the same rooms over and over again of exposition, plotting, the same exact plot points, the same exact conflict in this show. It didn't do anything that unique. I mean, I feel like the show kind of got cool in terms of Will's powers. That also kind of got cool, but even then, that kind of also, I feel like for me, it kind of fell flat a little bit. It was cool, but they didn't do too much with it. Even with Kali, even with her character, that's another character that I definitely think was very underwhelming. Kali's character, underwhelming, really boring. They brought her back after not being in the show since seasons 2. They brought Kali back to give exposition and give plot points away and preach to the audience with the exposition. I don't like that. I really think that this show fumbled and mishandled and mismanaged in terms of its structure. The season structure has been really bad. For me, at least, it's been really bad. I'm not saying it had to be perfect, but still, it could have been a lot better. And another thing that is also the case of being maybe didn't have to be perfect, but still I would have liked for it to be better, was the final battle. And, you know, the final battle And, you can say that it's not too bad, but I feel like when you look at it from the lens of this is the final battle to a 10-year show. It's been almost 10 years with this show, with these characters. This is it. I mean, this is it. This is it. This is the final battle to a 10-year journey. This is the big bad. This is the final big climactic thing. It's been 10 years of our life, of my life and your life. That's been with this show. It's been 10 years, and this is the final battle. Once again, I saw it in a theater, so I saw it in the theater for the finale. It was cool. It was fun. But the final battle for me still felt underwhelming. And the bigger thing that a lot of people are saying, and I'm gonna go into plot holes in a second, but I'm not gonna say the plot holes, so whatever. We'll wait till then. But still, the final battle for me was underwhelming. It was just, I feel like it was just so bad. It was just so not bad, just boring and so quick, so fast. Our big bad villain Vecna got taken out super quick, like in 10 minutes. Like that's our big bad, and he got taken out that quick. He got packed up that fast. It's underwhelming for me. It's underwhelming. It's really bad. In terms of looking at other climactic big battle endings, and this one, it's not too great. It wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't what it should have been either. So for my last couple of cons, one of them here, finally we're here at the point of plot holes in this show and with this final season. And the case again, this final season of the show definitely showed Duffer Brothers had no idea how to run this show. I mean, in terms of a super fun, super cool season 1 of the show is what they should be doing. And that's what they definitely set out to be. I know that this show originally was only supposed to be like an anthology series, where season 1 was one thing, season 2, a completely separate story with different people in it. That is what they should be doing, not this. This is definitely not at all what they should be doing at all. And I think that it was just the pure outcry and love from the fans for season 1 that made this show what it is today. But Duffer Brothers should not have been carried along with the season 5 season at all. I don't think it really should have been that at all. Clearly it shows in terms of them doing quick little one-off things and building up hype and expectation. That's super cool. But when it comes to the final big climactic thing, bring in Kevin Feige or bring in the Russos. Honestly, that's what it really should be, not them. But for plot holes, there's definitely, no exaggeration, there's well over 100. And that's not me trying to be funny or make a joke or a meme. There are well over 100, triple digit there, 100 plot holes and confusion and things that are super dumb with this show that clearly just make it very clearly bad. Number 1 for plot holes. In the final battle, where was the Demogorgons? Where were they? I mean, where were the Demogorgons, the bats in the final episode? Where were they? And I understand that a big army of CGI creatures, it's going to be adding to the budget there, so sure. And also, the show has a lot of plot armor, but I don't think they would have had that much plot armor in terms of being able to take down 800 different Demogorgons. That's okay. But still, for there to be not even one Demogorgon, and when the Duffer Brothers were asked, apparently Vecna didn't see it coming. Didn't see the final battle coming and them being able to come onto his home turf, that the Demogorgons weren't there. The bats weren't there. The Demodogs weren't there at all. I mean, the fact that there wasn't any, I mean, even if there weren't any Demogorgons, sure. But where were the Demogorgons? Where were they? Were they on vacation? Were they in Cancun? Possibly. I mean, I want to go to Cancun, so maybe they were there too. I might see them when I go to Cancun in the summer. Possibly. That might happen. Number 2, I guess, the bigger one, the military. And this show is not Cinema Sins. I'm not trying to go through every single plot hole and little itty-bitty thing to make the show look bad. But when it comes to our main characters committed war crimes, they committed crimes in general. I mean, in terms of what? Stealing drugs. They drugged and kidnapped a family. They kidnapped a child. Well, maybe they're trying to save his life. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. They murdered soldiers. They did. They did that. They murdered armed soldiers. And once again, the government isn't always perfect. The government isn't always the best, and we can see that in the news recently. I'm not going to be a political show, but the government isn't always perfect. Military individuals don't always have the best bosses, you can say, whatever, but still, doesn't matter. They murdered soldiers. They committed war crimes. They stole drugs. They drugged a family. Yet, no one is serving life in prison. No one's serving even, I mean, at least, if you have Saul Goodman, you're at least doing like 5 years, maybe 2 years. You're at least doing 5 years or 2 years. If you have Saul Goodman himself, you have 2 years in prison on your hands here, but yet no one got even a felony. No one even got a fine? Really? I mean, come on. That's for me, that's where it all was like, what was the point of the military? What was the point of them being there? What was the point of Little Hamilton? That's the issues here with the show. That definitely show that it's not the best in the world. That's where it shows that the Duffer Brothers have no idea how to run this TV show at all. And once again, I'm not going to go into too many plot holes because I would be here all day. But a couple that I did have that really stood out to me and just really, I was like questioning and really mad about it is, one, how does 11 know Will? In season 1, 11 knows who Will is without even seeing him. She knows who he is. That's number 1, which is, maybe can brush it off, whatever. And number 2 is, who took Will in season 1? I'm not asking this because I'm a nerd who has no life. I'm asking you because the Duffer Brothers said we would find out who took Will in season 1. You might be saying, Logan, Vecna took Will in season 1. No. Apparently it wasn't Vecna. You might be saying, Logan, a Demogorgon took Will in season 1. No, wasn't that either, because the Demogorgons don't have mental abilities. So it couldn't have been Demogorgon who took Will. It couldn't have been Vecna, because we know it's not Vecna. And I was told by the creators of the show, by the writers and creators and directors and producers of the show, I was told that I would find out who took Will in season 1, yet I did not. Maybe it'll be in a spin-off show for this entire crazy thing here. Might be the case. Once again, I'm not going to go into plot holes because I would literally be here for over an hour if I went into every single plot hole. But I'll let you do that on your own time. But the last big thing for me is the lack of stakes or deaths in this final season felt absent from here, which is okay, I guess. I mean, no, it's not okay. I mean, it's okay for if they don't want to kill everyone off in this season, then sure. But to not have one death, to not have any kind of stakes, it makes the show feel too convenient, too much plot armor. That's how it felt for me and for a lot of people. I remember seeing a meme for this final season that the Duffer Brothers killed 11, yet they killed 11 and didn't even kill her off because they left it open for the fans to interpret, is she really dead? They are so afraid of killing someone that they killed someone and didn't even kill them off fully. That's kind of funny to think about, and it's a really cool and very fun way to end the character and for the show. But still, for me, I feel like it's just, it's clearly that, like, the lack of stakes, the lack of big level stakes here with this season, it shows how bad the show can be at times for me. A great example for me would be like with Infinity War or Endgame, how we didn't have that many deaths in Infinity War or Endgame. We still had, Iron Man died in Endgame, Black Widow died in Endgame, also Gamora died, Loki died, but we didn't have that many deaths inside both those films combined. But still, there were clearly, it felt like stakes were there. If we're not including people being dusted away, there were clearly stakes and tension with those two movies. Once again, kind of different. It's a cinematic universe. This is a TV show, but still, it kind of felt like this show had no stakes at all, which was definitely, it was upsetting for me. I felt like this season had to be the season to do it, had to be the season to kill off someone. Someone had to bite the dust in terms of, it had to be a way for people to see, oh, Vecna means business. He just killed Steve Harrington in front of everyone. That would be the time to do it. It will be this season, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all. And I'll just kind of wrap it there. I don't want to be dissing this show for too long. Once again, I love this show. I love this show a lot. This show means a lot to me. It's been in my life for about 10 years, but I love it enough to want this show to be better, to not only want this finale to be serviceable, but I want it to still be better. I want it to be as good as it can be, yet it wasn't for me. It was so cool. Like I said, I liked where they ended things off at. In terms of 11, I like that 11 died. I think that 11's death felt inevitable. It felt like it needed to happen. But I do also enjoy the fact that they left it up for fan interpretation. Is 11 really dead? We don't know quite yet. I enjoy that. But still, outside of that, the show could have been better. It should have been better. The fans deserved better. It was serviceable. It was fine. The way it ended was okay. But this show and the fans, but mainly this show, doesn't deserve an okay and serviceable ending. It deserves so much more than that. And I'm happy. I think that, the Game of Thrones finale is definitely a prime example. It gets brought up a lot these days that the Game of Thrones season 8 finale was a lot worse than this. But still, with this show, it wasn't that bad as Game of Thrones season 8. It wasn't a massive fumble, but it still was a fumble in my eyes. At least in terms of this show should have been better. It could have been better. The fans deserve better, and we didn't get better. We got okay. We got serviceable. We got an okay finale. I didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that. The show didn't deserve that, and it shows. So where do we go from here? Well, not much to go, except for the spinoff show, live-action spinoff show might be coming in the next few years, and we're also going to get an animated TV show. But for now, I think that this show is over. This is probably the last time I ever talk about this show, but I'm at peace with the end. The ending wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. It's not what it should have been, but still, I'm at peace. It was an ending. It may not have been the ending that I exactly wanted, but it is over. That's kind of the overarching message that I get a lot in life these days, and maybe in this show as well, that the ending may not always be what we want it to be, but it is over. And I should be happy that it happened, and I'm very happy that the show happened, and at least that it happened to me. I'm happy that I'm alive to experience it and talk about it, and also be here for the ending. Part of the journey is the end, and this is the end of the show. So, I'll do it. That's all she wrote, and I'm happy for it. I really am. And wherever this show goes in terms of sequel, spinoffs, or whatever it'll be, I'll be here for it. But for now, I'm happy. I'm thankful. The Duffer Brothers, a message to you if you're listening to this still. I hate you guys, but still I love you guys. I really do love you guys. You guys mean a lot to me. And whatever you do next, I'll be here for it. So that will just about do it for this episode. Once again, I can go on for longer with ranting, but I do want to know, how did you feel about this finale? Was it good? Was it bad? Do you think that it could have used some work? Why or why not is my question for that. And until next time, thank you guys for this show. Thank you guys for being a part of this and sharing things. It's been a very fun time, but I'm signing off on this show for the very last time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one.